Stop calling yourself a video editor. You are leaving so much money and creative fulfillment on the table if you do that. I know this because I am editing videos pretty much every day for my full-time job, clients outside of work, and in the past I've done work for artists, athletes, and one time my favorite sports team. My official job title is content producer, and I think that's intentional because if I had a choice between being an editor and being a producer, I would choose producer every single time. Let's talk about why. In the business and content and marketing and entrepreneur space, the term video editor is low status. Now, what do I mean by that? Think about dating. If you're out there looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend and the person is desperate to date you, desperate for any sort of connection, we find those people less attractive. It's just in our human nature. And if you go on social media, you will see countless desperate video editors participating in a race to the bottom on price and completely outmaxing their time just to get a foot in the door to do work that does not matter. That's what I mean by video editors being low status. I also mean video editors are replaceable. If you are lucky enough to land a client and something happens or you don't want to work with them anymore, there are 100, probably 1,000 people ready and willing to take your place. I can't imagine how many applications, jobs on LinkedIn and even Twitter get from people who are just mass applying to be video editors. Early on in my journey, I was editing short form videos for $40 per. And I'd make TikToks about it and all the comments would be like, $40? I would do it for $5. I would do it for free. And yes, I understand there are people in other parts of the world, I'm in the United States, who are willing to do video editing work at a lower price in US dollars because it's still a lot of money where they are. But I don't care if you're in Michigan or Madagascar, the work is the work. And calling yourself an editor invites that kind of work where you're getting paid little money for so many hours of your time. Even if video editing is your favorite thing in the world, this is not a game you want to be playing. Another piece of this is like the editor and client relationship. Most creatives or clients or businesses who have video projects just think they can dump video content to an editor. These projects are set up for failure from the absolute start if there isn't a good amount of direction given. And think about typical movie and TV productions. Now, I'm no expert in how a setup like that works, but on these traditional productions, the editors don't make creative decisions. They just do what they're told. So if you think you're a creative person and you sign up to do editing work, you are not going to be making the creative decisions that will fulfill you. You just do what you're told. Editors are mercenaries. They do the job, they can't really have any input, they have no attachment to the final product, they've clicked the buttons, put things in the right order, and they're tied to the input of making the content. Now, a producer, on the other hand, that's where you want to be. Producers call back on their expertise from previous projects and can push back on clients when they're about to make a poor choice with their content. Let me give you an example. Yesterday I had a meeting and the client was looking to put Future and Young Thug instrumentals in the background of their education startup content. Those things don't really go together. And even if they want to push boundaries, I think that's distracting to what actually would make great content. So we're able to say, hey, I don't think this is a good fit. Let's find something more like stock, royalty-free, lo-fi kinda, it's just calmer. That's rewarding work to have input on a decision that saves a piece of content from standing out for all the wrong reasons. The other thing about producers, you feel more confident because you're multifaceted. You don't just work in Premiere or Final Cut, but you have graphic design ability. You know how to use a camera, you know how to make great audio, and you know how to play around on social media and craft strategies that might actually get results for the client. If I said editors are tied to the input and like what is made and just doing it, producers are tied to the outcome of the content, and that means more money for you. Another thing about producers is that they have taste. If an editor is just being told what to do, producers know what's good, know what people want, and know what's gonna help the viewer understand what's going on. And because of these things, especially if you stay specific into kind of one niche or like topic of or type of client that you serve, it just becomes implied that you know what works, you are the person we're listening to. And the last piece of this is that producers, like I said, I consider myself a producer. I do almost all of the editing, but I could very clearly work with an editor to empower them to make decisions and collaborate on what a video should look like, something that will get the result for the client, as opposed to just mindlessly dumping the footage and giving a little bit of direction, hoping something good comes back. So much in the process of working with a team to make videos, especially for clients, gets hung up with the absence of a producer. The best part about all of this is that you don't really have to change anything that you offer, anything that you do, but by calling yourself a producer, you are giving yourself permission in the client's eyes to listen to you, to take advice from you, to let you make decisions. Being a producer is rewarding, inclusive work, and I think that you really, if you're an editor, you need to start thinking of yourself as a producer. It has opened up dollars for me that I didn't think were possible, and I solve bigger problems than just which clips go in which order in my Adobe Premiere timeline. Let me know if you agree.